Is that right?
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr.
All
Chairman.
right, thank you. The ranking member said you had to leave in a minute, so go ahead.
Well, I appreciate you yielding to me, and of course, your tremendous and distinguished service over the many years that you've served the people of Alabama and this country. Now, it's my understanding that pursuant to statute, you have approximately 90 days by which to undertake a review of a pending regulation. Is that correct?
The executive order sets a timeline, and the initial review period that it sets is a 90-day period.
Now, is it often the case that you're unable, for a variety of reasons, the agency to complete its work during that 90-day period, and then there's a process by which an extension is granted?
Yes, there is a process by which extensions can be granted, and the interpretation that is developed of that provision is at the request of the agency or granted by the agency. There can be multiple extensions, and certainly a lot of the regulation that we review at OIRA is very complicated stuff, and so we do have to resort to that. I would say not most of the time, but there's certainly plenty of examples out there.
Now, it's also my understanding that under your tenure, the backlog that had accumulated has largely dissipated. Is that right?
Well, I don't want to claim credit for it. It's something that really began before I got there under the acting administrator who preceded me, and really run by the excellent staff at OIRA. They really got with the program before my arrival, and Director Burwell at OMB made it a priority of hers before I was in place to ensure that the office was moving in that direction. I have tried since arriving 12 weeks ago to add some additional energy and push, and so we are down by more than half in terms of rules and extended review from where we were, and I would really like to, and have every intention of pushing that much farther down.
Now, would it be fair to say that sequestration complicates your ability to evaluate pending rules on a timely basis?
Well, it has been problematic, Mr. Jeffries, because I've had to have staff on furlough, and every individual on my staff is incredibly important because each individual desk officer has a portfolio on which they are working. And a day on which they are not allowed to look at their government email or do any work is a day in which that slips farther behind. And on top of which we have already, I can't backfill positions when people leave. And so it becomes a slippery slope, and it is problematic. And as I stated in my opening statement, timeliness is important, clarity is important, but ultimately the most important thing, and the reason for being of OIRA, is rigorous, careful analysis of the rules. And we won't compromise on that. And to be sure, furloughs, sequestration, the inability to hire and even backfill positions we've lost greatly compromise our ability to do that rigorous analysis in a timely way.
Now, if we fail to pass a continuing resolution over the next few hours, will your agency be required to shut down?
Like most other federal agencies, we will not be able to continue operations. So in my particular case, my staff at OIRA will go from approximately 40 to 2. And I will call back people as needed to meet court deadlines, but all of our rulemaking review will certainly stop during a period of shutdown.
It's also my understanding that I think the courts could possibly shut down over the next few weeks, so I'm not even clear what deadlines might actually be salient moving forward. But hopefully we can avert all of those complications. One or two last questions. So it's my understanding that you review sort of what's deemed significant proposed regulations and final rules. Is that right?
Yes.
And how is that significance determination made as to what's appropriate for your agency to consider?
Well, the primary category of significance is economic significance, and Executive Order 12866 which came out under President Clinton, set a target of $100 million a year of economic turnover, of economic effect as the benchmark for economic significance. So we do review rules where the annual effect on the economy will be $100 million or more. There can be other significant determinations that arise because of something has to do with a particularly urgent or important issue, but that is the main category of significance.
Well, thank you, and I thank the Chair and the distinguished ranking member.